What is going on, you guys? MissedThePart here, back again, and we're going to be going over how Spider-Man was trying to break Uncle Ben out of prison. So I'm going to recap everything that happened so far. We've had where Spider-Man eventually would lose his Aunt May, and Uncle Ben would be arrested, and he's pretty much had enough of this. And Spider-Man was he was going into a downward spiral. He wasn't getting anything. He felt guilty for everything after he murdered Norman Osborn while blowing up his glider, and he's had enough. So he pretty much he explodes. He starts breaking things. He actually punches a wall, and he actually says, but Uncle Ben didn't do anything but tried to protect me, and he was rotting away in prison, and it's all my fault. So he decides to break Uncle Ben out of prison, and that's where we actually get to Uncle Ben's sleeping, and Spider-Man goes there, and he's like, Uncle Ben, it's me, I've come to get you, come on, we haven't got long before the guards arrive, let's go quickly. And Uncle Ben says, no, I can't. And Spider-Man was shocked. He was completely shocked. He didn't know what he was hearing, and he says, like, what are you talking about? Be like, I'm here now, like, we can go now. And Uncle Ben pretty much tries to explain to him is like he can't do it, and he says that there's no way that he can actually be broken out. And he pretty much tells him like Peter, listen to me, like you can't do this, like you can't break me out, like this is the law. And Spider-Man really doesn't understand this because he's really trying to right the wrongs of his mistakes. And Uncle Ben pretty much he tells him, I'm in here because I made a choice, I took responsibility for my child, I wanted to save you from this fate, Peter. And he pretty much tells him, with great power comes great responsibility. And Spider-Man would say, but it isn't fair, like everything I try to do just turns out wrong, Uncle Ben, this whole world is against me and it's just not fair. And Uncle Ben says, you're right, life isn't fair, but you've got to take responsibility for your own decisions anyway. You've been a given gift, Peter. And then he pretty much just tells him, you've been given, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's when this alternate reality Spider-Man really understood, like, this was a massive moment in the multiverse. We had pretty much a identical 616 Spider-Man, but with Uncle Ben, and he knew what he was telling him was true. And he's pretty much saying, I got somebody killed, and he's pretty much saying, like, it's gonna be okay, like you got to keep doing what you're doing. And they both look at each other, and there's a huge moment, and it's pretty much the whole universe stops, and they're both like embrace each other. And then after that, you have Peter ending up graduating. He's done a bunch of science stuff. He ended up getting a scholarship, and he's pretty much he has MJ, and he's swinging around. He fights Electro. He's fighting all these villains. And what actually happens here is Uncle Ben ends up getting out of prison, and they finally meet once again, and Spider-Man ends up having a fight with Doc Ock and other stuff, and it eventually ends. And Spider-Man, at the end of the day, he wanted to break him out of prison, but he just couldn't. So that is the what if Aunt May died instead of Uncle Ben, and that's what would have happened if Spider-Man would have tried to break Uncle Ben out of prison. And that is it for today's video. So anyways, guys, tell me in the comments down below what you think about this, and what would you guys have done to Uncle Ben? Would you let him rot in prison, or would you have tried to save him? And I really like the story. And yeah, guys, make sure to subscribe, like, share, turn your notifications on, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace out.